Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, and guys, welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Get ready for another ride. It's definitely going to be a ride after Fastlane. The results from Fastlane, we got those, as well as what happened. We got a whole lot to talk about today, man. But I got some stuff I need to talk about just to get off my shoulder here in a second. But go ahead, Brad. How you feeling, man? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm doing good, Book. I'm doing good. I enjoyed watching the Cougars battle back and take the victory. Now they're moving on to Sweet 16 in March Madness. That was great. And then we got some bad news today. Rest in peace to the great Elgin Baylor, basketball legend, LA Laker. 86, I believe he was 86. So good long life.
Good for life. I mean, I'm wishing for something like that. My neighbor down the street, Mr. Paul, he passed away last night, 95 years old.
Bless him.
Fruitful life. And the brother used to be, he used to always pick up the trash cans and put them back in everybody's yard here on the street, and probably every other street. And for a while, they thought this dude was homeless, but he got property all over the place.
Probably the richest man in the world.
Plenty of money. You know what I mean? So, God rest his soul, man, and hopefully he's in a better place. But now, what I was talking about, man, was I'm down with the scientists. You know what I mean?
Right.
And getting everything, back to normal, getting everything back on track. And you see what's going on down there in Miami, spring break, man. They getting buck wild. And that's one thing. And then we getting information from the scientists now, as far as the vaccine. And the question is, how long does the vaccine last? Like, damn it. I thought that fixed everything. You know what I mean? So now you got me wondering what the hell is going on as far as the vaccines go, man. I mean, my thing is this. I got COVID back in June, and I haven't come close to getting it again. So obviously I got some kind of immunity, I would think, okay? I would think, because I haven't done anything differently not to get it when I got it back in June, doing the same exact thing. So I'm just thinking that, hey, the immune system has kicked in, the vaccine, boom, on top of it, that's like a booster, extra booster. Seemed like that should kick everything out. You know what I mean? Yeah, you would think. But before I came, here in the studio, man, that's what the news was talking about. And I'm like, damn it. You know what I mean? Come on here. We getting ready to open the world back up, and now we talking about, we don't even know how long the vaccine lasts. So hopefully we get some answers on that soon, and very soon.
I feel like the goalpost gets pushed back every 3 months, right?
Yeah.
It was like, first we need, 100 million people vaccinated. Well, now we need 250 million. Now you should wear one mask. You don't need to wear a mask. 6 feet, 3 feet, double mask. It's like something changes all the time.
Yeah. I went to the airport last week and I had my black mask on, it's got the two little gimmicks on the side.
Right.
And the woman told me, here you go, you can wear this mask, but you got to wear it over that mask. And I'm like, wait a minute, can I wear it under it? She goes, no, you can't wear it under it. So I said, so why don't I just take the one off and wear the one that you gave me, and everything would be fine? I say, but it seemed like the one that I got over that would be extra protection, don't you think? I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm losing it, bro.
I'm losing it too.
I'm losing it too. And I'm trying my best, man, to stay with the protocol. Go with the scientists, all right? Conform. Think about your brother, man, the person next to you, all right? Think about that's what I'm trying to think about. But when this kind of stuff is happening, man, I'm getting hot, man. Hot. You know what I mean? So I'm just wondering, man, when are we gonna get this thing right, man? And so we can get back to normal, man. I got a confession to make too. I just started taking golf lessons.
Oh, okay.
Golf.
Okay.
Big shout out to my my coach over there at Golf Tech, Brandon. He'll see me on Thursday morning, 9 o'clock, getting ready to, get back on the grind. But yeah, I'm really finna take this thing serious and find my mark as far as the game go, because I want to be a consistent player. Once I get out there on the PGA celebrity circuit. Steph Curry, man, I want to beat that boy like he stole something. You know what I mean? If I see
Brother's bad though. He's bad.
if I see Charles Barkley, I'm gonna just give him a donut. No, I'm just playing.
You've seen the Charles Barkley, his swing, right?
He changed it.
Has he gotten over the stutter step?
Oh man, Charles is back in business. He's must have been taking some lessons. Somebody been getting with him and definitely have fixed a lot of his flaws. So my thing is, I was just thinking about it. I was like, man, we got this place right here, in the mall. I say Golf Tech. I say, man, I wonder if these guys could work with me and change some things and kind of fix me, because all this time I've never taken a golf lesson because I say, man, I'm okay. I'm hitting it okay. But after going take one golf lesson, I realized how far behind I was. It's like a wrestler coming to my school and I'll say, how long you been doing this? He say 10 years. I say, let me see what you got. And then he can't get through a 5-minute match. And I go, wait, we got to, retool this thing. We got to totally just, take everything away and try to recreate something totally different. And that's what I felt like when I was dealing with my coach. And I was like, man, it's so intricate detail as far as trying to figure out how to hit that ball and make it go where you want it to go. So man, Thursday morning, I'll be right back in there getting ready to beat up on them boys. Force them ain't gonna have a chance.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how much you've progressed because you had what was always weird about Booker when we would play golf. There's the only thing that always it would shock me because you've got all this muscle, all this power. And then when you come back on your backswing, when we first started playing, you'd only come back like maybe a third or 45% of the way. I'm coming all the way back like it's a baseball and I'm swinging it. You'd come back like 35, 40% of the way. Are you going back further now and put a little bit more of your arms into it?
Well, he taught me how to actually do that. And it has everything to do with my grip as far as why I can't make my turn in my right leg. And I was like, wow, I started working on it, and then they put you on they film you and analyze every little thing and pinpoint accuracy as far as, where your flaws are and, what are you doing right as well. And after, maybe an hour hitting balls, I was pretty beat up after I left. But after an hour, I totally the video from before and after that they give you, and it was really, really cool. You get about 25 minutes of information, and they'll put it in a form to where, you can download the app and you can actually have it on your phone and you can watch yourself.
Oh, that's cool.
And critique yourself and learn until your next lesson. And then you'll get some feedback as far as, some notes on what we worked on and where we're trying to go. So it's something that's definitely in your head working all the time. So for me, it's going to be a work in progress, but my before and after was something like, wow. And then again, I still got 5 lessons to go. So I'm wondering how it's going to be, at the end of, a month and a half. So we'll see.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe you will show up on the PGA wearing red like Tiger on Sunday, and you'll just have a whole secondary career or a tertiary career for you.
You know what, man? I've been working on the game for a long time now with just a little bit of input. I think taking it to the next level, it's possible. It's possible before the old body break down. You know what I mean? I gotta get it in quick, and I don't need, and I'm not trying to hit like Bryson DeChambeau or anything like that. I don't want to hit the ball 370 yards. 300. I'm good with that. You know what I mean? But
I'm sure you are.
But I told him, they say, man, what are you looking for? I say, just a 250-yard consistent swing off the tee every time. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame, guys. We'll be back in a minute.
WWE Hall of Famer back in the day, many, many years ago, one of the top 5 workers in the world.
All time.
You remember, you remember when you pulled that rib way back in the day in WCW? And the whole locker room got all stirred up about it.
You know, especially Regal. Regal hated me, man, for doing that. He wanted to fight me all the time for doing that stupid deal. But hey, man, you know what though? I believed it. You know, I believed it back then, man. I had to make myself believe it, man. In that locker room, you know, it was a lot of top flight talent, man. Like yourself, like Jericho, and so Eddie, so many others, man. And if I didn't do that, but more importantly, though, Steve, I went out and backed it up a lot of times too, man. I went out and worked my ass off to be, who I became. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guy. There again, we're here again. Not too long ago, we were on the show talking, about, the company WWE, and everybody wanted to, get their piece of the action. I saw just a week or so ago, Bow Wow call somebody out. You know what I mean? So I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I see that perhaps WWE may be interested in Funky Ben Askren. I don't, maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but I heard he had a visit to the Performance Center. And that's the thing, man. These guys, just like reality stars. If one reality, show don't work out, they want to go to the next one. That show don't work out. That's what reality stars do. I don't know if Ben Askren ever had a real job in his life other than wrestling. And now he's trying to, find his way into WWE. How old is Ben Askren?
I mean, he's north of 40, right? 42 maybe, right?
42. I'm 56 years old. And if Ben Askren took his shirt off next to me, it would be like, the old comic book where the guy, see the guy on the beach and you just kick sand in his face. That's what I would do. That's what I would do.
He's 36. He's 36. He just looks older.
And his body looked like, like he's never worked out a day in his life. What is he going to do? What is he going to do? How is he going to learn, professional wrestling? And I do give, a guy like Riddle some props as far as that goes. The guy was out there on the independent scene, and he was quite popular out there on the independent scene before he ever, got a shot in WWE, even though he was a MMA guy as well. So I give him a little bit of props as far as that go. But someone like Ben Askren coming in, I don't know. What is he going to do? When he comes in.
You know me, I think he'd make a really great special guest enforcer. But as far as being in the ring, in all seriousness, I don't see his value from that aspect. I mean, we've seen MMA guys come in before, and Cain Velasquez had literally one match in WWE, and they got him out of there after that. So I don't think that there's as big of a
do you think the crossover appeal is there for
no. I don't. Only if, though, I could change that statement. If Ben Askren goes out there and beats Jake Paul, that's a big stage. I know we laugh at it, but it is a big stage. Bieber's going to be the headlining act with Snoop Dogg, right? This is going to be a crazy event. Now, if he goes out there and he rides that wave of popularity, and you want to bring him in to do something, maybe, right? But
well, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now.
He's not going to win.
He's going to get the hell beat out of him in that fight against Jake Paul.
I agree.
I can't remember who it was, but somebody in the UFC, it might have been Dana White saying that
put $1 million on him.
Yeah, he's going to lose every dime of that $1 million if he's that stupid enough to bet on Ben Askren in a stand-up fight with Jake Paul. Now, I've been watching fighting for many, many years, okay? And rarely am I wrong. Rarely am I wrong.
True.
I was wrong with Brunson and Holland this past weekend. But rarely, and the only reason I was wrong in that fight, and we're going to talk about it, is because certain issues. But as far as this goes, Jake Paul, stand up fighter. The guy is. I'm not going to sit here and say he's the next coming or he's the next big thing or anything like that. But can this guy fight? Would I want to get into a fight with him if I didn't have to? No, I wouldn't. Jake Paul is doing this for the money, and he's going to get the hell beat out of him, and his stock is going to be blown out of the water as far as that goes. But I don't see the appeal, and I just I just had to get it out there.
Well, I heard Ben Askren, I think he was on our friend Chris Van Vliet's show, and said that he did go down and work out at the Performance Center because he had been invited, I think he said since 1999 or something like that, by Gerald Briscoe.
You know how old he is now compared to when he had a shot. I think Briscoe did scout him. Yeah. But those days are far past, way behind. His best days are well. I mean, come on. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat this thing. Ben Askren, his last fight in the UFC, what happened?
He lost.
Got waxed, got toasted, choked out.
In a matchup that was favorable to him.
In a matchup that was favorable. So my thing is, I don't know, I don't see the appeal. And for me, being, from the old school, when somebody step into, the square circle, if you're gonna do it, don't just do it to come pick up a check. You got to be true to the game. More importantly than anything, as far as this wrestling thing goes, with me, because when I look at the young guys that's coming up now, I think about man, who's gonna be the guy that's gonna take the torch and keep this business going to the next level. Well past when I love the business. I love the business, and I want to see guys in the business that love the business that's going to keep this business going in the right direction. Is Ben Askren that guy? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, WWE wanted to bring in Mike Tyson to be a referee, I believe on Saturday night's main event, right? This was before he came in with Austin and Shawn and all those guys. Mm-hmm. And he went out there and he got knocked out by Buster Douglas. And then they said, you know what, Mike, we don't need you right now. We're going to use Buster instead, right? So I'm saying this to say we're going to see Jake Paul at SummerSlam. No, I'm kidding.
You know what?
It's possible.
No, let me tell you something right now. Jake Paul would bring so much interest to WWE.
I agree.
It would not be funny.
I agree.
I mean, and the reason why is the guy's young. He's uber popular, and he is what is going on today. He is pop culture of today, Jake Paul.
I agree.
So if I was going to be courting someone to make a appearance, it would be Jake Paul.
Well, let's go back to Bow Wow though. How do you feel about Bow Wow? Bow Wow has called out. Let me tell you this. He called out T-Bar of Retribution to a match at WrestleMania, and he told T-Bar that's the only way you'd ever get on the WrestleMania card is if you wrestle me. So he's already firing shots. What do you think about old Bow Wow?
You know what, man? I would love to see that. I
Bow Wow versus T-Bar
at WrestleMania, so T-Bar could beat the hell out of Bow Wow. Shit is behind up.
You're not going to invite Bow Wow down to Reality of Wrestling?
Look, man, I'm not going to sit here and say Bow Wow is stepping out of his lane. Okay, yeah. I'm not going to be the one to back up Bow Wow. You're
not going to put your name on Bow Wow.
Look, man, Retribution gave me a pass. I don't know if you remember that or not.
T-Bar. Yeah,
I was an honorary member as far as Retribution goes.
I don't know if I'd brag about that.
I was, man. So I would love to see Bow Wow at WrestleMania in the middle of the ring in a joust with T-Bar, and T-Bar will beat the hell out of Bow Wow, and that would be great. I'm gonna tell you, the ratings would be over the top. The buy rate would be, I'm talking about they'd be wanting to see reruns of this. That's how good it'd be, because T-Boy is a pretty tough guy.
And you know what? He's bigger than I thought he was.
T-Boy is a big guy too.
He's a big dude,
and that's the last guy that Bow Wow really want to be calling out, honestly. So, me personally, I would love that matchup if we could get anybody in WWE higher ups to think about that. A lot of the guys, they think about a lot of stuff. That's one that they should be thinking about very, very seriously. As for because Bow Wow, I mean, his stock ain't completely gone. I mean, a few people still know Bow Wow.
Sure.
He hadn't done any music in a long time.
No.
The last thing I think he was popular in was what, Fast and Furious.
Yeah, Tokyo Drift.
Drift. Yeah, that's what it was. Didn't he was in another one though, wasn't he? He was in a couple of them, wasn't he?
Well, no, they actually used the same footage from Tokyo Drift and they put it in the new movies.
We ain't paying his ass nothing. We already paid him once. So Bow Wow, his stock ain't the greatest right now. So yeah,
we paid his ass once. That's all he's gonna get out of.
So now I would love to see Bow Wow make an appearance.
Oh, that's funny.
At WrestleMania, do a thing, man, and see how tough he really is, man. These guys talk a whole lot, man. My mother used to always say, "Don't let your mouth overload your behind, son." You know what I mean? And that's true. That's true. That's very, very true. But we got to take a break, man. We still got a whole lot to talk about. Like I say, the breakdown of Fastlane. We got to talk about, Hall of Fame is going to be going down. The actual WWE Hall of Fame is actually the ceremony is going to be going down. Stick around, guys. We'll be back in a minute.
And here we go. Oh, the rules are simple. There are very few. Oh, my God! No, winding up here. Oh, maximum velocity. Bartow goes for a ride, and that is not a soft landing. I can assure you of that. The official can do absolutely nothing about it. Even Max Humberto is disturbed by his own actions. Wait a minute. Oh, no. God in heaven! God in heaven! Put a stop to this!
And Max Humberto is the new Reality of Wrestling Texas champion.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. We're still rolling. A lot to talk about. Fastlane. We got a lot. Let me say what's up to all my people out there in the chat, man. First and foremost, before we move even further, man, make sure you shout us out, man. Let us know where you're from. Let us know where you're from. And it is hilarious, man. It's getting crazy up in here right now. And we were just having fun. We just having fun for you, for you guys, man. That's what we do here inside the Hall of Fame. More importantly, try to deliver the facts and the news to you guys, on the real. But Hall of Fame, man. Eric Bischoff. Did one ever imagine a dream in a million years that Eric Bischoff would be getting the call to step inside the Hall of Fame, not with the NWO, but on his own? Eric Bischoff, he got denied. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I was a little surprised by it because I think that I remember a year ago when the NWO was first announced as they were going in, I said, "Hey, man, because you've felt a certain way before, or at least you've made your opinion known about Bischoff's qualifications for the Hall." And I said, if there's ever a time for Eric to go in, it'd be with the NWO. Lo and behold, I didn't know that it would take a pandemic and pushing the Hall of Fame back a year for Eric Bischoff to go in the same class as the NWO, essentially. But look, if you look at what he was able to do, even if it was for 83 weeks, Eric Bischoff bringing in the NWO, signing Hogan, Macho, going live against WWE, it changed the business forever, and it helped ignite the spark that set the wrestling industry on its most popular run of all time, that 96 and 2000, 2001. It was due in large part to what Eric Bischoff did as the executive vice president of WCW. So off that alone, I see him more credible than other people who've been inducted. So I think that he cemented his place there. I do. What do you think?
Well, I got to look at it from, several different perspectives. I always say, the getting into the Hall of Fame is normally, for me, the body of work one has, put in over the years. And Eric Bischoff, he's the guy who started at the bottom and then worked his way up and, became, president of the company. How'd that happen? Still beyond me. But that's just we're in America. That's just the way things happen. Being in the right place at the right time, just having that it factor that perhaps they needed back then. He was a really good businessman as far as overseas deals and stuff like that as well. So Eric Bischoff definitely pretty smart guy. Then we moved to the part where Eric Bischoff, not just the boss, but becomes a character on the show. Okay, Eric Bischoff was a character on the show for quite some time. Okay, from the NWO run all the way to pretty much the end. Before that, Eric didn't do a whole lot on television. Okay, not that I can recall. Can you recall a whole lot that he did on television before that?
Before the NWO stuff?
NWO.
Yeah, no. I mean, other than his just being an announcer. And I think he was like the third, fourth string announcer for WCW. So, yeah, I don't remember him doing any character work prior to the NWO.
Exactly. And then, so he played the character from that part, until the end of the company's run. And then WWE hired him as a character. He played a character over there. And then, as well as they hired him as a executive as well. So
in charge of SmackDown.
Yeah. So, I'm in between on it, honestly, man. So I can't really, I don't have a vote, on who gets in the Hall of Fame or not or anything like that. Is his accomplishments, excuse me, his body of work mount up to Hall of Fame stats? I don't know how we're measuring those stats, honestly, be honest, because when I look at Hall of Fame in the wrestling business, I look at Hall of Fame as the wrestling. Okay. Okay. You got your celebrity wing. Okay. Those guys don't wrestle. Okay. But normally, I don't know, just about everybody that goes in the Hall of Fame, they wrestle.
But there's been exceptions to that rule, right? I mean, Jim Ross.
Okay, Jim Ross.
Gene Okerlund.
What Jim Ross is, he's been a pretty much a character on the show for 50 years. So
yeah, but he was an announcer.
Like, say for instance, Jim Rome getting the Hall of Fame induction because of what he contributed from that aspect in the business for those amount of years.
Yeah, but that's my point. My point is certain people will go in based off, what if they excelled in their
JR. Okay, give me a couple more.
I mean, I'm thinking mainly of announcers, but Gene Okerlund's another name that comes to mind.
Let's not think about guys that have been on the road working on a yearly basis doing that job.
Well, Bischoff didn't do that?
No, but he was like I say, Bischoff was the executive for the most part. Okay, let's just put Eric Bischoff's I'm like I said, I'm not taking Eric Bischoff out of the Hall of Fame or anything like that. I'm just trying to figure out what, get us to that point to where someone like Eric Bischoff gets into the Hall of Fame.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think of people who've gone in who haven't.
Name me 5 people. Just name me 5 guys
who haven't been wrestlers
that have not wrestled. That's in the. Name me in the Football Hall of Fame. Name me 5 football in the Football Hall of Fame. Name me 5 people that's in the Football Hall of Fame that didn't get on the gridiron and play.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some. I couldn't tell you the
Name
five.
me
I'm not,
five basketball, Hall of Famers that's in the Hall of Fame that did not get on the court.
but okay, well, let me ask you to go back to the wrestling thing. What about Teddy Long? I see Teddy Long's name in the chat. Teddy Long was a referee and then a manager, general manager.
Teddy Long has been a character on the show for many, many years.
But he filled the same role that Bischoff did for WWE. He was an on-screen general manager.
But that was a character. That wasn't a real job.
But Bischoff was a character on the show.
No, but he was an actual executive.
Yeah, I mean, toward the latter portion, but wasn't he just the GM when he came to WWE?
I think he got hired a couple of times.
He did. He did get hired a couple of times. So someone said right here, and I don't know if this is true, but apparently Sylvester Stallone is in the Boxing Hall of Fame.
So Sylvester Stallone is in the Boxing Hall of Fame.
That's what someone in the chat just said. I'll verify.
I would not. I would beg to differ.
Let me see.
As far as Sylvester Stallone being in the Boxing Hall of Fame, I
don't know if that's true. I'm about to look it up. But it's not like I don't understand your point. No, yeah, he was inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame in 2011.
Maybe because of the movies he did. You know what I mean?
Of Rocky.
Maybe because of the Rocky series.
It was. He was inducted in the same class as Mike Tyson and Julio Cesar Chavez.
Well,
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Well, like I say, give me another one. Okay.
I don't know.
I'm talking about whoever it was in the chat. Name one more. Give me, give me five. Okay. Yeah. I'm just saying, I'm trying to figure out. I mean, like I say, there's a celebrity.
So if you don't, I'm just asking, if you don't lace up your boots at least one time, or your body, or you're not a guy who goes up and down the road working in the ring, are you saying that you shouldn't be eligible to be in the Hall of Fame?
Not what I'm saying. Like I say, you got guys
I'm just thinking, what about like referees? Like, could referees be in the Hall of Fame? Could ring announcers be in the Hall of Fame? Howard Finkel's in the Hall of Fame.
Referees could be in the Hall of Fame, but it's not going to be your average referee that just came through and did a few shows. It's got to be
like Hebner,
a Dave Hebner or something. I mean, Earl Chioda. A Chioda. Exactly. A guy that's been around forever, a guy that put up the ring like a Mike Chioda, and worked in that company for 30 years.
Yeah.
With that, from the outside looking in, you see that guy, he's just reffing, but that guy is on the road. He's one of the most intricate parts of the show. And he's got to be good at what he does. Otherwise, he don't stick around very long at all. So it's like I say, for me, it's I guess just the generality of guys that's been in the business working from a certain perspective as far as Hall of Fame go. That's just why I take it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Hall of Fame, just seeing if there's anybody who stands out. Mainly it's announcers who've gone in who haven't been wrestlers, whether it be Gordon Soley, Howard Finkel, who we talked about a little bit ago. Let's see, I'm trying to think, is there anybody? Well, these are the celebrity wing. Mainly it's wrestlers. I will say that. It's mainly wrestlers, as it should be. But I don't think that should be the sole qualification, to be in a wrestling Hall of Fame, right? I mean, I get that, sure, it should be, but what about somebody like Paul Heyman?
Paul Heyman has done a whole lot for the business, and from a certain perspective, just say ECW, being a character on that show in ECW,
like Bischoff.
Yeah, but totally different. Totally different. Like I say, Eric Bischoff was the boss and interjected himself into a company. You know what I mean? Paul Heyman, it was his company. He was running it. He was like Vince McMahon being on his show back then. Should Vince McMahon be in the Hall of Fame? Of course. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because he's the one that created this whole thing that we're doing. So it's up for debate. We got to take a break. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
That's a stunning elbow to the face. Oh, and look at this. She just raking Angela's face across the metal. Oh, my goodness. That's hard to watch.
Oh, man, what is she thinking?
Oh, no. Top rope suplex. Superplex from the champion. If enough damage hasn't been done already to Angela, that has got to be the exclamation point. She's looking for the 450. Oh! From the top rope, she's calling for shooting star press.
Star press.
Shooting star press cover. 1, 2, 3.
Shoop. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. See, everybody, got something to say, man. Everybody want to weigh in on the Eric Bischoff topic. And there again, guys, I'm not saying take the Hall of Fame induction away or anything like that. I'm just trying to figure out the criteria. Okay, I'm trying to figure out, where we're going here and where is it going to, go in the future. How do I get a vote? You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to know. Can I get a vote? I'm a broadcaster now. You know what I mean? I should be able to weigh in on, who gets in and who don't. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. I have two more questions for you. Would a guy like the late, great Jim Crockett, would Jim Crockett be a name that should go in the Hall of Fame?
Now? Yes.
Now, yes. Okay. If we look at Paul Heyman and we look at him just as not as anything else, just for his ECW run, would that be qualified for the Hall of Fame? Just for what he did in ECW?
I think so because, man, my brother, we never worked in WWE and we got in. It was our accomplishments. It was our body of work.
Now, there was a guy who I'm sure you're familiar with who was a part of the Legacy inductees in the same year you went into the Hall of Fame with your brother, Jim Barnett. Jim Barnett was never a wrestler. He was just a promoter. I don't know if he was ever an on-screen character. I don't remember him being, but that was a little bit before my time.
You know what? You can look at it like that, and some guys are, honorary, as far as Hall of Fame go, they're respected to the point to where they have done so much for the business. So you immortalize them,
right?
And someone like yourself, you're way too young to understand what Jim Barnett, did and was for the business and a lot of the boys, so from the outside looking in, a lot of people don't know Jim Barnett. They may not think he deserves to be in, but there again, being in the business, some people get in for certain reasons, and perhaps this is why Eric Bischoff is getting in. Like I said, I can't take away anything Bischoff did. He did I tell you, I put Bischoff over more than anybody. People, in the chat, they may think, I'm a hater towards Bischoff, but Bischoff did me right throughout my whole career. Bischoff made sure almost that I was protected, that I was the guy that was gonna, no matter who came in, they wasn't gonna bury Booker T. Eric Bischoff did that for me. I know for a long time, it was probably a question mark in a lot of people's head. Should Booker T be the world champion? But he was there and he played a role as far as that went as well. And he was always happy for me when I became heavyweight champion. So I have nothing but love for Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff and I, last time we talked when we was on the Jericho cruise, nothing but hugs and kisses. But I'm just trying to figure out what criteria is needed to be in the Hall of Fame from a working perspective, because like I say, I look at football, I look at basketball, I look at baseball, and I look at the guys that goes into the Hall of Fame. Eric Bischoff, there again, he's going in. It's that simple.
Nate with the $10 super chat says they need to have a spot in the Hall of Fame for contributors to the product. Bischoff, Long, Heyman, Cornette fit better in that role, in my opinion.
Cornette.
When the Ultimate Warrior, God rest his soul, when he was still around, his original idea for the Warrior Award was for that specific purpose. People who may not have had the greatest in-ring career or on-camera career, but they contributed to the business in a very significant way. And that was his idea for the Warrior Award. And now it's kind of changed a little bit, and it's more of a humanitarian award, which I think is great. But that was his original idea, and I think that would be a good thing to have. I think that people like we just talked about, the referees, the Mike Chiodas, the Earl and Dave.
I mean, Nate is Nate is 100% right. Mm-hmm. He's 100% right, and that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I agree with that too.
Because you don't want to step on the toes of the guys that actually put the boots on. So just say, for instance, when I just saw somebody said Donald Trump, he got in. We're not offended from the celebrity wing side of the Hall of Fame, because a lot of those guys contributed a lot, like Snoop Dogg. He should be in,
Yeah, Snoop, Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I'm serious, so
Pete Rose.
I think Pete is in. I think,
yeah. Pete Rose is in,
if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, my thing is, I'm just trying to conversate here, guys. Just trying to create some good conversation. That's what we do here inside the Hall of Fame. It's a little different. It's a little different than most.
I wonder how many people are going to be inducted this year, because they're doing 2020 and 2021, right?
Well, who all have they said already?
Do you know something that I don't know?
Yeah, I do.
See, guys, I was trying to trip him up. I was trying to trip him up a little bit. Maybe he would.
I couldn't do it.
I think they've only announced 2. I think only 2 have been announced. It's definitely been Molly Holly, and Eric Bischoff.
Okay, I'm not gonna say nobody's name. Then
but then the 2020.
Well, I tell you guys, I can tell you this. Get ready to get excited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How excited?
Very excited.
Like, oh man, I wonder who. You know who Mick was making a case for? Did you see Mick Foley?
Who that?
Today on Twitter? Mick Foley says Lex Luger deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And I actually 1,000% agree with that.
I totally agree. Lex Luger, his contribution to the business has definitely rose to the Hall of Fame stats as far as I'm concerned. I got a chance to work with Lex Luger at his best and his worst.
Yeah.
But as far as a guy who was a game changer, man, Lex Luger was definitely a game changer, when he was, at the top of the game in the business.
I mean, there's a guy who won the Royal Rumble, main evented at WrestleMania for the world title, went over to WCW, was really that shift that in the win that WCW needed at the time with Nitro going live, I think Lex Luger, the total package, should definitely go in the Hall of Fame. NY2979 with the $5. Bischoff got guaranteed contracts, changed the business model. Also, he pushed WWE up its game. He pushed WWE to up its game. The guaranteed contracts is interesting. That's an interesting.
That's true. I mean, all of that stuff is true, man. I mean, I don't know about how it is now, but at that time when we were doing it, Rick Bischoff wanted to make all professional wrestlers millionaires. Okay, he wanted, if you worked in the wrestling business and you worked on top, he wanted you to get paid like baseball players in NFL. And I was all in for it. Eric Bischoff did that. Eric Bischoff said, "I'm gonna make you a rich man." I said, I'm right here with you, baby. So Eric Bischoff, he did a whole lot for the business. I must say. And that's why this debate is worth having. It really is, because, a lot of people really don't know about Bischoff creating, the business to where everybody got guaranteed contracts. Everybody was getting solid money. Everybody was, taking care of their families. It was so many guys on the roster that had jobs, so he definitely was a guy who, I say Eric Bischoff was trying to do something great. Things got clouded, of course. A little smoky, let's say that. I'm just playing. A little cloudy. and things went awry. But yeah, definitely. It's a great debate. And at the end of the day, Eric Bischoff should be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. I
I'm man enough to say that. I'm trying to get something out of you. Go ahead.
No, RDAB with the $2 says, man, that Lex Luger guy is a narcissist. Yeah, I love the narcissist Lex Luger. It was, I think it was his first gimmick in WWE.
Hey, man, I tell you,
you remember he would come. I don't know if you remember that. I don't know if you were watching at the time, because this was probably right when you started your ascent in WCW. But he used to come out to the ring and he had like mirrors. And he'd look at himself in the mirror. The narcissist Lex Luger.
I don't remember.
You don't remember that? Yeah.
I was working.
It didn't last very long.
I was working. I ain't had time to be thinking about what the boys was doing, man. I'm serious. I really didn't. If I wasn't working them, I wasn't thinking about it.
You didn't give a damn.
I was trying to make some money, man. I was on the road.
Woo! I hear you.
No. But I tell you, man, we definitely got a boatload more to talk about here inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Stick around. We will be back in a momento.
For running a successful training school and promotion, because in New Zealand, crowds kind of don't really come to wrestling, so we were wondering about that.
Well, I mean, it's not just New Zealand. I think it's like that around the world. If you just can't set up a tent, and think about, this is a wrestling show. You got to start from the bottom up if you're trying to create something, especially in New Zealand, because there's not a whole lot of wrestlers there. When I first started my wrestling school, it wasn't a lot of wrestlers either, other than, guys that had been on the circuit, guys that were looking to get paid big money to come in. And when you do that, your promotion is not going to last very long. So for me, I said, man, I'm going to start mine from the bottom up. I'm going to start with wrestlers that don't anyone know. They've never wrestled before. I'm going to create soldiers. And it took me a long time. I mean, it didn't happen overnight. But all of my guys, literally, that work on my show have been a part of my school somewhere along the way. Just like, for instance, my right-hand man, I met him when he was 16 years old. I did a speaking engagement at his high school. He became my first student. Now he's my editor, my producer, my writer, and he's 32 years old. He's a grown man now. I've had guys that's been with me, from the beginning of their careers and retired, never making it to the big league or anything. So you got to be able to find soldiers and find good wrestlers that you can promote as your own, especially when you're doing it from that perspective right there. And if you do it right, and have a little bit of patience, it'll work out for you.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Doing it big. Talking about New Zealand. What about Malaysia, man? We thinking about doing something big in Malaysia. So, guys, keep your earmuffs ready, man, because it's about to get warm, dog. In reality of wrestling, I can't wait to everything open back up and we kick off and have fans back in the arena, man. I'm itching, man. It's like I'm itching for, I'm fiending right now for my reality of wrestling fix. So definitely can't wait. Let's keep it rolling, man. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, I see another Nate with another $10. Appreciate you, Nate. He said, put Scott Steiner in. That'll make things interesting. His nephew got signed by WWE, so maybe he will change his stance now. I know Scott's been very outspoken about not really caring about that particular distinction or really, do anything with WWE moving forward. But maybe, you know what? Time heals all. I watched this thing the other night about 3 weeks ago. I actually sent it to our producer, Kevin Bernhardt, because it was Vince McMahon on Larry King Live with Bruno, right?
I saw that.
I didn't know that they hated each other that much.
I was watching it on you. Did you see it on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching that.
Okay, so yeah, you saw it.
Timeline, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it was a crazy thing to watch, and you would think after the shots that Bruno took at, God rest his soul, after the shots that Bruno took at Vince and Vince took back at Bruno, that there'd be no way that these two would ever get along ever again. But we've seen it time and time again in WWE. There's always going to be a door open at some point. So if Scott Steiner, I think he's deserving. Scott's deserving. He and his brother.
Come on,
the Steiner
man.
brothers.
No question. If the Harlem Heat is in the Hall of Fame, the Steiner brothers should be in the Hall of Fame. The Nasty Boys should be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm sure time is going to heal that wound as far as Scotty goes. Scotty is walked to a beat to his own drum, and that's just the way it's always been with that guy, man. He's always spoke his mind because he knew he could kick everybody's ass, and stretch them if he wanted to. So he just always had
right
that mentality where it's alpha male, and if you want to go, we'll go. It was one of those type of things with Scotty. Scotty was a guy who definitely you thought was going to be so much bigger of a star.
Look, he's calling into the show right now. Scott Steiner's calling in live here in the Hall of Fame.
That was money calling in right there. But now, what was I maybe?
Well, no, I mean you're talking about Scott Steiner, and the thing is, I think that Scott, when he came back to the WWE for that last run that he had, he seemed like he should have been positioned a little bit better.
And that's the thing, man. That's the thing. Scotty wanted to play a bigger role.
Yeah,
Scotty wanted to be the guy that you gave the ball to and let him run and see if he could score. That's the way Scotty was. And I'm sure, man, not getting a chance to do that definitely made him feel a certain way. And the thing is, like you just said, man, some of the stuff Bruno said, you never would have thought things would have got better, but as well as so many others.
Oh, there's been so many.
So many
that one just popped in my head.
It's been so many of them. So I hope that the Steiner brothers, because Rick Steiner deserves to be in.
Yeah,
I mean,
gremlin.
I remember before I ever saw Scott Steiner here in Houston wrestling, Rick Steiner was his name. And he had the Michigan jacket on and the earmuffs, and he did his the dog face gremlin thing. And who was it? JR was doing the commentary right here in Houston, Texas. And I was I was a teenager watching it. And Rick Steiner, before Scott Steiner ever came along, guy deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And nothing else. And he's put in countless hours of work as far as this business go. And the thing is, besides Scott, Rick Steiner should be in. Even if you didn't want to put Scott Steiner in, Rick Steiner should go in. And that's just my opinion.
No, I agree. And again, like we said with the Bruno thing, I mean, time heals all, and eventually I hope Scott Steiner and the company come to terms, and because I want to hear more about Scott's story. And I remember when he came in like 2003, he had everything. He had the gimmick, he had the look, the finish, the music, the woo, holler if you hear me. Woo. I mean, it was great. He was great.
Yeah, so, but the thing is, you got to remember how good Scott was before that. I mean, Scott was literally a phenomenal athlete. He was extraordinary as far as going out and performing. And the holler if you hear me thing, that was something that Scott was trying to create. That's when he was really trying to take it to another level. And the thing is, he got the ball at that time, but Scott was, definitely was a hothead and bumped heads with, a lot of different people. And sometimes, the office, if you're a certain type, they may not push you as hard as they would have just because, they're scared. Something might happen. You give Scott Steiner the belt, he might hijack it. You know,
you never know.
And you may never get it back. You know, so it's like, man, we can't get this guy the belt. So it's all kind of things going on. I think as far as Scott go, but I really think Scott, should have been a bigger star. But then again, I think Scott was a big star.
Oh no, Scott was a big star. Yeah, I mean, Scott to me, Scott was a big star. I mean, he was champion there at the later portion of WCW. When he came into WWE, he felt like a big deal. I do think he could have been a little bit higher, but you know what? I have nothing but respect for Scott Steiner, even though he scared the hell out of me at my second reality wrestling show of all time. It scared me to death. But aside from that, I'm a big fan of him. When Scott Steiner tells you to shut the hell up, you just listen. You just listen. You just listen. That's all there is to it. Real quick, Nate with another $5. We appreciate you, Nate. Were you there, Booker, the night Stevie? Were you there with Stevie the night Knobbs punched Matt Damon?
I wasn't there that night, man. They told me all about that, and that's one of Knobbs' favorite stories to tell.
Is that true?
It's
yes,
true.
He punched Matt Damon.
Yeah,
Matt Damon, the actor.
Matt Damon wasn't as big of a star back then.
He didn't punch Matt Damon like some bartender, right? he
was
the actor.
He whacked him. I mean, it was a real deal. And Knobbs is, think about Knobbs, man. Knobbs is literally one of the craziest, as well as Sags, two of the craziest guys in the business. I think they beat up Ken Shamrock one time.
But wait. Why would he punch Matt Damon?
I think they were in a bar or something. And I'm gonna tell you, the Nasty Boys, they were rowdy. If they were at the bar, they owned it. If it was a party going on, they were the one that was starting it. If it was some ribbon and some heckling going on with anybody in the vicinity in the bar, they would mess with them. It was, that's just the way Knobbs and Sags were. And like I say, I wasn't there, but I know it's a true story.
Wow, I hadn't heard that before. I need to go look into this.
I heard about the one about Ken Shamrock.
I didn't hear that either. You're laughing like that's a rib.
No, I think Ken Shamrock was drunk though.
He must have been drunk, high, and injured.
They beat the crap out of him.
Hey, this is our shot, kid. Let's take it.
No, man, I'm serious, man. I don't think they'll do it while he's sober.
That would be a bad idea. That would have been a bad idea.
No, man, that's the way it is, man. On the road, man. When you're on the road with the boys, anything can happen, man. But Nate's bringing up some old memories, stuff that used to happen on the road. I remember went to Germany, and I guess he was like a liaison or something, and he wanted to drink with the boys on the bus. And the boys were like, yeah, drink with him. And they drank with him so much, and they got him so drunk. Guy ended up passing out. They ended up shaving his eyebrows.
It's so mean.
I think they cut his pants off and made a bikini out of it. And the guy woke up in his own mess. So the boys, man, it was always fun. Watching stuff like that. A referee back in the day, Billy Silverman, he left the tour. He just couldn't take it no more, man. So it's crazy back in the day. And this stuff just made me remember Billy Silverman's name. I didn't even remember his name last week. But now, thinking about all the rivers. Oh, man, what a good time we used to have, man, back in the day. I wonder if these guys on the road now having fun like we did back in the day. I doubt it. Hey, guys, stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Movie Trivia Schmodown. Yeah, good evening here tonight. Who's ready for some matches, huh? Let's schmodown. Questions are going to be asked to the field. They are each worth 1 point. Who plays Laura in the 2017 film Logan?
Daphne Keane.
Daphne Keane. Round number 2, each competitor is going to get a spin at the wheel.
Final round 3 begins.
Niet.
Sam Witwer has been
Celebrity Schmodown, free-for-all style.
Let me see.
Team Classic! This is why we play the Schmodown. Rising Sun! And your winner!
MMA or boxing, it's like you want to see the two best scrapping it out. The Schmodown, as we know, we got a little bit of a WWE flavor to it.
And I'm going to give him a show in Chicago.
Get your tickets. We are coming with the fire.
Movie Trivia!
Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. See, we got another super chat, man. Let's get to it real quick, man.
Yeah. RDAB just said the Frankensteiner and the Steiner screwdriver were insane. I concur with that.
Man, those job guys, man, those job. I mean, enhancement guys. Let me change.
Enhancement talent.
Those enhancement talent, man. Those guys used to go for the ride, man. When Steiner used to work with those guys and do those crazy moves, and I used to be like, man, look, we ain't doing none of that. Okay, you can give me that belly-to-belly suplex out of the turnbuckle. All right, we good.
That's all I'm taking. So
that's all I'm taking, brother. You know what I mean? I take a clothesline, a regular suplex, but all of that crazy stuff, man. Oh man, I'm so glad I didn't get a chance to go on any of those rides, man. Steiner brothers, guys like Sid Vicious, guys like Vader. You know, I remember I used to be sitting in the locker room and you know, it used to be a locker room full of guys. You know, they would just come, they would just have their bags. They didn't, you know, they wasn't on the roster or anything like that. They would just come hoping that they get booked. You know, somebody, you know, put them in the ring, give them a couple of dollars. And Sid Vicious, you know, he used to come by, you know, checking out the locker room, literally like his cattle. You know, him and Vader, you know, and he goes, I'll take him, you know. Vader goes, I'll take him, you know. And those guys be freaking over there just shaking in their boots, you know, knowing that Vader's going to be giving them those forearm shivers. You know, Sid Vicious just going to go out there and just go lose his mind. You know, Steiner was going to want to do something crazy, you know. And I think those guys is what made me come up with the Harlem Hangover. I say, well, if they can get those guys to sit there and take it, I might can get one to stay there. Take the Harlem Hangover.
Messed up, man.
But I was very, very cautious, man. I was very, very careful as far as the hangover go. I had a very, very good ratio as far as taking care of guys as far as the hangover go. Maybe, you know, 70-30% ratio. And that's pretty good.
30% it was clean. 70% you whacked him in the face.
No, 70% I was clean, man. You know, at 30, you know, sometimes, you know, if guy was, you know, out of position, maybe, you know, turned his head the wrong way. Anything could happen.
It was a rough 30.
It's not ballet. Okay. It's not ballet. So I appreciate those guys, man, for pointing me in the right direction, how to get myself up.
Well, Book, we you know, we're coming up on our last couple segments of the show. We haven't gotten to Fastlane. We got to talk about Fastlane.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about it, man.
The last stop.
Kickoff show, Kayla Braxton. First time working with Kayla on the kickoff panel. Just want to say, Kayla, you know, keep doing your job, girl. You got a future. Don't get no heat. Damn it. I'm just playing. No, but it was a good show. Actually, I thought it was I thought it was a good show, but leading into WrestleMania, I thought it was, you know, a show that, man, maybe we could have saved a little bit, you know, maybe we could have really, you know, overloaded WrestleMania, you know, to the point to where, but, you know, I don't know. What do you think? What did you think about it?
Well, Mania's 2 nights, and I thought the same thing. I'm like, man, you know, that Big E Apollo match was great. I mean, they really went after it. I mean, not the Big E Apollo match. They had a good segment on SmackDown. It was a little short, but I love the intensity between the two of them. I didn't need to see it at Fastlane.
That's what I was just going to say. I was just going to say that too.
Yeah. I didn't need to see it at Fastlane. That could have been at WrestleMania. You know, you could have pushed that. Same thing with the only match that felt like it was needed last night was the Daniel Bryan Roman Reigns match. because it's setting something up. And I thought that they went out there and apparently that's their stage, because they were the main event of the first Fastlane pay-per-view and they rocked it. And then they rocked it in this one too.
You know, that was Daniel Bryan's coming out party for me. When he wrestled, you know, Roman at Fastlane. Fastlane seemed like it's Daniel Bryan's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And working with Roman, it's a great story. It was just a great story to tell. And like you say, that was the one match on the card of Fastlane that was highly anticipated, because you know where Roman is going, and you wondering if Daniel Bryan is going to derail him. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the one person, the fly in the ointment, who could it be? You know, Daniel Bryan. You know what I mean? Who you going to believe doing something like that? Daniel Bryan. Right. You know what I mean? So it was great. And like you say, those guys working together. Oh man, this match made in heaven. Those guys are great together.
They killed it last night, and having Edge be the kind of reason that Roman went ahead and won the title. To me, it sets up a triple threat at WrestleMania. We'll see what happens there. But other than that, all the other matches, I mean, I could have waited on. You know what I mean? We only have, 2 weeks to WrestleMania? 3 weeks to WrestleMania?
Yeah.
It's quick.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's quick.
Yeah.
And for me, I would rather them
just
put
in a month.
more time. Yeah, I feel like there should be more time in the build to WrestleMania, being that it is 2 nights again this year. We're having 2 nights of WrestleMania, and we have 3 matches. And some of it just, and I don't know if you agree with me or not on this, but to have announced Bobby and Drew on Raw, and then to have Sheamus and Drew on Fastlane, and with no Bobby involvement, I felt like you could have said, hey, let's have Sheamus and Drew, winner gets Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. So at least you put something behind the match. To me, it was just a match to have a match on the card. And that's what disappointed me mainly about this show. It's like Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura. It's like, okay, why is this on the pay-per-view? I mean, there was just things that I just didn't.
It was almost like, you know, it was a, you know, Sheamus and Drew. It was should have been like a non-title bout.
Yeah, I mean, it felt. Well, to me, it's like
no, that's what it felt like.
Yeah,
it felt like it should have been. It felt like a non-title bout. Those guys were fighting each other for what reason, I'm not sure.
Just to fight each other.
The one thing that I did say on the kickoff panel was you know, preparation. You know, this is something that's going to prepare Drew McIntyre for Bobby Lashley. You know, if he manages to get past tonight. That's something that I said on the kickoff panel, just to make sure that, you know, Drew looks at it that way. The fans look at it that way. But you're right. You're definitely right. It was a match that, you know, if he was going to do it, you know, Sheamus should have been in the play, been in play right there, as far as, hey, if Sheamus wins. And the thing is, Sheamus is capable of winning.
Right, he's believable.
He's
so it adds drama to the match.
He's capable of winning that match. He's capable of, in less than 3 weeks time, he walks into WrestleMania as champion. If he wins this match, man, it was so much meat on that bone right there that could have played out. But there again, you're right on that right there. It's just something I talk about it all the time. I say, you know, wrestling is moments. You know, and when you miss a moment in professional wrestling, you don't get it back. It's gone. It's gone forever. So everything that we're talking about right now, you know, Bobby Lashley coming out and beating the hell out of, you know, Drew McIntyre at the end of the night. We missed that moment. It's gone. It'll never come back ever again. The Hurt Business being in there, everybody jump on him. You know what I mean? Make sure he's not going to walk into WrestleMania at 100%. You know, if he walks in at all, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I could be wrong, but I just think it was like I said, man, a whole lot of meat left on that bone that we could have picked from last night.
Yeah, I agree. And then, you know, we got to see the debut of Kane. I mean, we got to see Bray Wyatt make his return to the show. I was really weird. I was curious and a little about how they were going to do this Randy Orton, Alexa Bliss thing. And, you know, just for the record, it's in the record books that Alexa Bliss defeated 14-time world champion Randy Orton on a pay-per-view match. That's in the books, just so everybody knows. But did you like Bray Wyatt's new look? He always seems to have a new look.
Bray Wyatt, man, he's a marketing machine, man. You know, Bray Wyatt, I'm sure it was on WWEshop.com by the end of the night. Get your replica, you know what I mean? $350, you know, and they're going like hotcakes, you know. So Bray Wyatt is more than just a wrestler. I think I don't look at Bray as just a wrestler. Bray Wyatt is the ultimate character on the show. He's something that a lot of people, you know, wish they could you know, replicate, you know, because you know, Bray Wyatt, like The Undertaker, is a gimmick that could go for forever. You know what I mean? It's a gimmick that could be around a very long time. It's a gimmick that's gonna, you know, he's not working a whole lot at all. Everything that Bray Wyatt is doing is, you know, more getting into your head, more so than anything. So I think the look was one thing. The return of Bray Wyatt was one thing. My question is, where do we go from here? With Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, and Alexa Bliss. We're going to have to just sit back and see how this thing unfolds. But right now, we got to take a break. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer, and this is for all up-and-coming professional wrestlers, male and female. You want to know the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts. You got a question, I got the answer. If you want to know how, join my masterclass. Go to realityandwrestling.com for all the information, starting on Thursday and every Thursday after that, guys. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. And I know you can dig that.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We're getting ready to wrap this thing up here shortly, but I smell something cooking down there. I'm hoping my wife. I walked in the kitchen and and she's got this funny look on her face, right? And she's cutting. You know, she got a chicken. I don't know, it's like big as a turkey, and she's cutting the gizzards out of it, right, and some of the fat off of it. And she's got this look on her face. You know what I mean? I'm like, what's wrong? She goes, you know, I got to cut this stuff out of this chicken, you know, and I swear this turkey is like, I mean, it's chicken. It's like big as a turkey. That's why I keep saying turkey. And she's cutting it out, and then she goes, well, how do, you know, what parts of it do I supposed to cut out? And I go, baby, I've never done a chicken like that before. I said, that's like a turkey. It's like Thanksgiving. And I go, what did you get that for? Why did you buy it? I don't know. So I'm smelling something right now, and I'm hoping the house I don't, the smoke alarms don't go off, and I'm wondering how this meal gonna taste tonight as well. My wife, she always, you know, coming up with recipes, you know what I mean, and wanting to try something different. Let's try this. Let's try. I'm like, baby, just stick to 3 good things. You get 3 good things, I get 3 good things. We cover the week, okay? All right. But she always wanted to try stuff, man. And I'm gonna tell you, man, you ever get married, man, you better be ready. You better be ready for stuff like this, man, because this is the point where, you know, it could break you. You got to be strong and be able to, you know, just get along and say, all right, baby, kiss her and everything's fine. But these are the times, man, that it's a 2-way street. So anybody out there, you about to get married, be ready. Be ready. You got to be able to know that you can, you know, weather that storm, no matter what it is. Trust me.
Well, let me ask you this: have you seen Coming to America yet?
Nope.
God, man, it's
I haven't
killing
seen it yet, man. Like I said, don't tell me anything yet.
I'm not, but it's killing me, man. You know, because I'm like 8 movies ahead of you. You know, I watched that Justice League movie.
Yeah, man. I'm taking care of stuff here, man. I got a lot of stuff on my mind right now. Got a lot of stuff on my plate at the same time. The world getting ready to open up. I got to go out and start, doing the cons and, going overseas and stuff. So I've been preparing, to get this second vaccine on the 7th as well. So I have not been thinking about, but what I have been watching though, is this series called The Unit.
The Unit. I don't know that one.
Yeah. It's on I guess Netflix or whatever it is. The Unit. It's with the guy that does the commercials, the black guy.
The guy who does the Allstate commercials?
Exactly.
I know you're talking about.
He's like the top dog, and they're like a special forces group.
It's an older show, right?
I don't know how old it is. It might be an older show.
Okay.
But I've been watching it on my Roku or whatever. I mean, not Roku, the smart TV. And I tell you, man, it's a really awesome show. Because it's gonna be some action in every show. I mean, they do missions. Every show is a mission, just like, for instance, they're on a plane and the plane is about to get hijacked, and they just, they knew the plane was going to get hijacked, so they had everybody in place, ready for the situation when it came down. It's a monster, man. I'm gonna tell you, it's one of the most real shows that I've watched in a long time. I'm gonna watch it after I finish up here tonight. Right now, I'm like in season 2, and I think it go up to season 5 or something like that. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
You ever watch Suits?
I haven't watched.
The Duchess was in that one.
No, I haven't seen that one.
No, that one's good. That one's good. Yeah, that one's good.
I'm just trying to, look at stuff. I never look at a whole lot of TV. When I do look at TV, it's normally, ID, A&E, Discovery Channel, stuff like that, or sports channels or something like that. So I'm not off it, or boxing, so I'm off in my certain things. And Charmel, she's always trying to get me to, branch out and, watch other stuff. We need to do this. We need to, get a series together. And I'm like, man, it's just hard, because some shows, you start watching them and then it's actually really good. And then next thing, it just start getting really bad. And you gotta, fight through it. You got to stay in the game. For me, it's hard, so I'm just not a big TV watcher, but I have watched Coming to America.
Well, and the thing is, there was also that movie that came out over the weekend or last week, the Justice League movie. Did you hear about this? They took the 2017 movie that came out of the Justice League, and the director, when he was directing it, his name's Zack Snyder, his daughter died, right? Or she committed suicide, unfortunately, I believe is the story. And he didn't get to finish the movie, so they hired someone else to come in and do the movie, right? Well, everyone hated that version of the movie, and it was said directed by Zack Snyder. So he had campaigned the studio, let me do the movie that I wanted to do. And so late last year, he got $70 million or something like that from Universal, and he got to go, or Warner Brothers, excuse me, and he got to go in. He brought Ben Affleck back. He brought the Joker back, did all the thing, and he finished the movie. And it just came out on HBO. It's a 4-hour-long Justice League movie.
See, that's just way too long.
I'm an hour and a half into it.
Ain't nobody got time to be watching no 4-hour movie.
It's long. It's long, man.
Ridiculous.
It's a little too long.
It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? The end game was long enough.
Endgame was like 3 hours, right?
Yeah, that was long enough. And I was like, man, when is this thing going to be over? I mean, I don't care how good it is. If it's 3 hours or longer, it's not going to go any quicker. That's like going from here to Dallas.
Yeah. It's a long run. I agree. It was a long run.
It's like going from Houston to Dallas, in a car, making stops, getting food and everything. So I'm like, I ain't got time for that, man. So seriously, man. But man. Hey, man. News came out. I don't know if you heard about it. Chandler Oliveira.
Yeah. For the vacant.
Hear what Gagey said though.
No, what did he say? He feels like he should be in it.
No. Gagey said that he had already got a phone call already had a contract that he thought on the line to fight Michael Chandler, and then looked on the internet and saw that Chandler was fighting Oliveira.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes. Well, you know what? That's the way the old mop flop, as you would say. They're trying to book
but the thing is, I don't know if you remember, Gagey was saying, this guy needs to fight somebody before he fights me. I don't know if you remember that. Gagey was,
Well, because Gagey assumed that he was in line for the title, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I thought he would too. I thought they were going to make Gaethje versus Oliveira for the title. I thought that made the most sense because Gaethje was.
You're breaking up on me again, man. You broke up on me again. See, I don't know what it is. Brad's got this internet problem where it seems the signal. Every time we get close to the end of the show, the signal goes out. But as far as Chandler Oliveira, I like the matchup. Chandler is a guy that has come into the UFC and he's taken the UFC by storm. But Oliveira is a guy who has cut his teeth inside the octagon. He's a guy that you can't play with these days. He's a guy that's going to go out there and fight this fight totally different than Chandler has experienced. I believe he's really that good. Can Chandler, boom, land in the big knockout with Oliveira? Of course, I've seen Oliveira go to sleep on more than one occasion. So it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight. Who do you got in that fight?
Oliveira, he looked so good against Tony Ferguson. He just looked so great. He controlled that fight. He looked fantastic. The entire time. To me, it's a tough pick. I was so impressed by Chandler though. Chandler just got Hooker on out of here, right?
Yeah, but that did not seem like the same Dan Hooker that we had seen prior.
It didn't. It felt like that Dustin Poirier fight took a lot out of Dan Hooker. So I think I'm going to go Charles Oliveira, although I'm not confident on it. I'm like 60-40, but I'm going to go Charles Oliveira.
All right. What about UFC 260, Miocic, Ngannou 2? We saw what happened in the first fight. Stipe Miocic, he went out and pretty much controlled every aspect of that fight. He fought the fight where he wanted to fight it throughout. If it was stand up, he was winning that part. If it was on the ground, he was winning that part as well. Do you think we're going to see a different Nigerian nightmare in Francis Ngannou?
I do. I have a feeling, and this has always been my theory with fighting. It's been my theory with everything. You always look at an NFL schedule. Whenever you play the same team twice in the season, normally those victories are going to be split. I feel like when we go out here, Francis Ngannou is going to get the job done this time. He's going to be the new UFC heavyweight champion. There's just only so many wars I feel like Stipe can go through.
Yeah. One thing about Stipe, though, he's been very, very disciplined, man.
Oh, he's best heavyweight of all time.
I'm with Cormier. His last fight, he was so disciplined. Cormier thought he was going to win that fight. He really did. But Stipe stepped his game up to another level. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm pulling for Ngannou, but I think Stipe is going to be and still the champion. Hey, we got one last super chat before we get out of here, man. Nate's got one more.
All right. Nate says, thoughts on Askren versus Paul. We talked about this earlier in the show, but
you must have missed out. And I said Jake Paul is going to go out there and beat the brakes of Ben Askren. Ben Askren, this is going to be the end of his career. I know boxing. I know fighters. I've never seen Ben Askren stand up and beat anybody in the fight game. He's always been one thing, and that's a wrestler. The boxing gloves is something that he's going to be uncomfortable with for first and foremost, just having boxing gloves on. And when he starts getting punched with those boxing gloves, he's going to feel even more uncomfortable. It's going to be a rout for Jake Paul. Hey, guys. Man, that's about it, man. We got to get up out of here, man. It's been a quick show, but I want to thank all the listeners, man, all the super chats, man. We appreciate you guys, man. Get us some new mics, up here inside the Hall of Fame. We appreciate you guys. Bradley, as always, man, we'll be doing it again on Wednesday, so don't miss out. Don't get shut out. Do it now. I do it for you. We out of here.
Can you dig it, sucker?